Hello everyone and welcome to College Algebra Math 1314 for the spring online. My name's Terry Barnes and I will be helping you through this journey. I wanted to do this orientation video to help you see how the course is set up and what the expectations are. So let's go through the different things. So let's look at the areas. Here is where your announcements will be, and please know that there will be announcements each week, so be sure you're looking. I will also try to email those to you as well. Here is course content, and then here is your Pearson widget. This is important. There's two ways to use it. You can hit this purple oval here, and that should work. If it doesn't come back for some reason, sometimes when you're gone, it'll disappear for a little bit. You can use this pull down menu and hit open in new window, or you could just refresh your browser and it usually shows back up. So that could happen. Let's go through the content that is here that is important, and then you can peruse it more on your own, but let's kind of go over some of this stuff. So instructor plan. Okay, let's go down here. Here is my office phone number and my office number if you are on campus and during office hours want to come by, that'd be lovely. Here are the office hours, and unfortunately this is changing a little bit. I need to repost this. But the office hours will be 8:30 to 9:30 on Tuesday, Thursday morning, and then 12 to 3 in the afternoon there. So, and Zoom by request if you need that. So keep in mind that my other schedule changed and I won't be there at 7 in the morning on those mornings, but rather 8:30. So keep that note. You didn't have to buy a hard copy text. The e-text is included in your course, so you don't have to worry about buying a book. You do need a graphing calculator, and we'll talk about some options if you don't have one. There are apps that you can use, and if you're familiar with a different calculator that does everything we need to do, you're welcome to use that. So that's important. There is even a test on the graphing calculator, so keep that in mind. These are the course objectives. Read through those. That's what we're going to do in the course. Course attendance and participation. You should not miss more than 25% of the work in this online course. So we'll talk more about how I do attendance. It is on participation during the week. So keep that in mind, but you can't miss more than 25% or you could be dropped for non-participation. And if we go down, here is a general outline or schedule. We're going to look at the calendar more in depth, but this is just showing generally the things that we're going to cover. And then here's our grading. We have homework, tests, and a final exam. Homework counts 30% of your total average. Tests count 50%, and the final exam is 20%. Homework you can do over and over again till you get the score you want or till it closes. Once the due date passes, your score is frozen. Tests, there are 6 tests plus a comprehensive final. The tests you get to try twice. So you take it the first time. If you don't do as well as you want, you review it, study, and take it again. You can take it twice. The higher of the grade figures in your average. Okay? But note this, before each test is available, all homework assignments must be completed with at least a 70% score for that chapter. So if you don't pass all your homework, the test won't even open for you. So that's a priority. Get your homework done, pass it with a 70, hopefully with 100, and then the test will open when you're ready to do that. Final exam, you get one try at that, and it counts 20% of your final average, so be sure that we prepare for that one. All right, let's go down here. Attendance in this online course. Attendance will be based on participation Sunday to Saturday. So that's important to note. You should have activity, either a homework or a test, in the course each week. Now that means work on something each week. That alone will count you as present. Any week in which you don't have any work logged will be an absence, and you're allowed 4 of those weeks before you could be dropped. You'll receive an email when you're on that inactivity report in any week, but after 4, on the 5th, you could be dropped. We'll be having a conversation. So it's real easy to stay off that list. Work on something every week. All right, I think those are the highlights. Be sure you read through this better on your own, but those are the highlights. Let's go to the next thing. All right, there's important resources, student resources. Surely read through that, see if there's anything that helps you out. Contact info, my contact info is there with my office number and office address. So if you forget from the syllabus, it's right there. Schedule and office hours, we talked about that. Let's look at the calendar. Okay, so I would print this and keep up with it. So everything in chapter 1, 2, and 3 is available first day, right? And the calculator test, it's a test, and you can try that test as many times as you want, over and over till you get 100. It's 10 questions. There's some review for it. But anyway, that's something you should do periodically till you get the grade you want. It ultimately is due April 26th. So you have quite a bit of time to work on that. Everything else in chapter 1 and 2 and 3 is due February 15th. It's all available first day, all due February 15th, both the chapter 1 and 2 test and the chapter 3 test. So that's your first major deadline, February 15th. Then chapter 4 is available February 8th, and it is due March 7th. So review and test March 7th. But everything for chapter 4 is available February 8th. Then chapter 5 is available March 15th. That's after spring break. So there's a week there. And then March 15th and due April 26th, the homework is. Review and test, the test is due April 30th. Chapter 6, 4 sections, is open April 5th and due April 26th on the homework. And the test, so here if you can notice that chapter 6 and 5, those tests are due April 30th. The final exam is open April 26th when you have everything else is pretty much done, and it is due May 6th. That's the end of the course. So keep up with those. You don't want them closing and you not having done the homework. So you have plenty of time just to do as you can, but there are some deadlines. All right, so the next 3 things are the big, this is where you get ready for work. So if we look at problem set links, here's chapter 1 and 2. So this is a link to the problems. And if we click on this first one, here's some blank problems. And you may know nothing about what this is talking about at all if you've had Algebra 2 in high school, or if you've had anything some things you might know it completely, but otherwise not so much. There are 12 questions. The answers are down here, but the questions, it's just a blank set of problems that are going to prepare you for your homework. You do not have to turn this in. This is for practice. Let's go look at the lecture notes that go with it. So here we are with the lecture note link. So we go here. Here's chapter 1 and 2. Let's go to 1.3. And if you were in a class face-to-face, we would be going over these in class, right? And we'd go through all the lecture notes, and that's all the information. And then we'd get to those same problems, and we would work those in class to get you ready for homework. So you can see the work. Some of the work is here. The answers are here. There's some more work for that one. And so we go through, and there should be 12. Okay. Now, that may be enough for you, but it may not be. So let's go look at the last piece of that. So we've done problem set, lecture notes for 1.3. Let's look at lecture videos. This goes to my YouTube channel. I have one for every course that I teach. And here we go. 1.3. It's a 22-minute video of me going through those lecture notes and going through the problems. And so it's me talking you through that. Between the problem set, the lecture notes, and the videos, that's the information. So you're ready to do homework for section 1.3. Now, you may not need all of that. You may just go to the video and watch it, and that will be it for you. However you want to do it, you have all the references that you need to do that. So let's go look at the homework now. All right, so you have two places that you can open Pearson. So if we go here, let's see if we get, so you probably will not see the instructor tools, but you will have these tools down here. And if we go to my Math Lab All Assignments, we should see, now these should not be there right now, so I have to fix that. But so chapter 1, 2, and 3 are available. And let me see if I can move this over a little bit. Let's see. There we go. So this says when those things are due. Now these must have a wrong available date, and so I'll fix that. They won't show up. But let's look at 1.3. Now we said there were 12 questions in all of the stuff we were looking at. Let's look at let's just pick 3. So we pick 3, and we have the homework here. And so question 1 says write the inequality in interval notation. So you're going to decide what the answer should be. Click on that box. You've got some icons here. You may hit more and get more icons. I'm just going to put some gibberish. Okay, so let's check the answer. There's a check answer box down here that you can't see very well. All right, it says that's incorrect, but it gives you a hint. We say, okay, I'm going to hit check answer again. I'll still get that. And then I'm going to do a final check, and it says the correct answer is a bracket, -5, and infinity, and that's what I answered. And so you could do a skill builder. I don't know that you need to do that, but you might go back and look at the lecture notes on that question and see, why did I miss that? If you've gone through that, you should be prepared for that one. So down at the bottom, let's see if I can, I don't think I can get us down there. Let me try something. I just can't make the window better, but right here it says view an example, and there's a help me solve this, and then there's a get more help. The one I wanted to point out to you is get more help. When you click it, you get this ask my instructor, which is how I would like you to communicate to me if you are really stuck on a question. Because when you click on that, it's going to send me an email with your particular question. You can type in here what you tried, what you're stuck with, and what your question is. Then I'll know exactly the numbers you're looking at, the question you're looking at, and it helps me help you. So if you're really stuck, at the bottom of the page, which you can't see in this video, is the get more help. And under that is ask my instructor. So that's how I'd like you to ask me for help in when you're doing your homework. And then you can hit save and you're good, and we're done with that. So you can go through this, you can resume, you can review what you've done, that sort of thing. It reminds you that this is due February 15th. So that's working on the homework. If you, let's go out of this. So when your test is available, it will show up here as well. So be sure that you would go there. All right. So there are some handouts here that are worth looking at. And the big one, if you use Inspire, there's a good one there. If for everyone, this yellow packet is the name of it. It's got all kinds of formulas and how-tos that are important and would help you with your homework and your test. So that's worthwhile printing or having available. Let's look at the other one. All right, calculator help. So here there are some phone apps. So you might, if you don't have a calculator, look through this item and see if there's one for iPhone and there's one for Android. There's a calculator exam review here. There's a help video playlist, and there's some worksheets. All of that is just to review for the calculator test if you need it, and to think about an app that might help you if you don't have a calculator. Let's go back to home. And then there's a final exam review. So you'll want to do that before you try your final exam. So I think that should get you going, and I look forward to working with you.